I appreciate the invite, and especially for Professor Mustafa Karam. Thank you. So I was asked to talk about the future innovations in minimally invasive liver resection, and I'm very happy to see so many surgeons in the room, and I'm sure you all innovators, and you've been adapting these innovations that I'll be talking about it quite a bit in your daily life. So I have no disclosures. Before I start, I would like to kind of go back to a couple months ago when we started the Baltic chapter of EHPBA in Turkey, and Turkey HPB surgeons were very supportive initiating and collaborating with us, so I do appreciate the support while we actually started discussing about the innovations back in Vilnius in May at the meeting that we had together. I have no disclosures, and just kind of like for someone who is not aware or maybe just passed by the information, the Baltic chapter consists of 3 countries, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and at the moment I currently lead for the 2 years from Lithuania, including the 3 countries participation and also activities throughout EHPBA and IHPBA as well. So in short, my content today will be that I'll be defining the innovation, what it is. I'm also going to be talking about, probably some of you already know, some robot-assisted tools and technologies. I'll touch a little bit on the digital surgery, also patient-focused innovation, and what's next in liver surgery that we are all looking forward. So looking backwards, and you kind of like, look at the innovation overall. It's either sustaining versus disruptive. What does that mean? We either have the same product that we make it better, or we're totally deciding that actually we're going to create something new. And that will usually takes time, so we need to get the knowledge, right? We're forming an attitude. You all know that some of us look at something new and say, not for me, or some of us will say, sure, I'll give it a try in a war, maybe once or twice. And then you decide. You either adopt or you reject, and then you implement. It becomes your daily tool. You use it in your war, in your clinical practice, you teach your residents, etc. So, and then you confirm that your decision. So, and this shows back, actually is nothing new that I'm talking about. Looking back in 1903, Professor Tarde came up with this actually showing growth and time technology, how it takes time for us to adopt anything. So it's quite interesting, especially surgery is such an evolving field. I think it's good to kind of look back. And it goes back forward. So my first kind of thing to talk about, and I would like to kind of give you some information about it. When I looked at back the top 10 new medical breakthroughs in 2023, and you can see there's a lot of technology right there, right? We have MRI, we have virtual reality, neurotechnology, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, precision medicine, CRISPR, telehealth, health wearables, and mental health technology. Seems like nothing to do with surgery, but let me prove that that actually does. So what's upcoming? Upcoming is this, that how will this, this actually a paper has been just a couple months ago published, quite interesting for those who are interested to read it, about the kind of business and investment in technologies, especially in surgery. We're looking at the minimally invasive surgical instruments market about $60.6 billion by 2023. It's a powerhouse that's actually not going to stop. I'm sure a lot of surgeons here in the room already doing the robot assisting surgeries. We have quite a few in the field as far as the models, right? And it seems like Da Vinci is doing quite, kind of like dominating the market. But I would like you to take a look at some of the pieces of news that just recently the European Investment Bank gave quite a huge investment to Quantum Surgical, which actually are launching a new robot just for liver cancer. Recently, Olympus invested another $8.7 million to see if you actually can make the minimally invasive like the extraction holes even smaller. So we're not stopping here and we're not done. Again, a couple months ago, a great paper came at the scientific reports actually showing that the regular robot that we've been operating with the regular 3 arms, it's not, it's kind of like we inventing again, maybe it's doing the one portal system. For those who have been in the field for many years, you know that's been in and out in the laparoscopic surgery, but in the robotic cholecystectomy, it seems like it's picking up the pace, and already 300 cases have been reported. How about the hepatectomy, or about the transplant surgery? And safety and novelty is in the essence. Another great paper in JAMA surgery just recently showing that it's actually, we can apply that not only in the HPB surgery, but in transplant surgery as well. Robot-assisted tools really picked it up just this summer as well, making the first robotic liver transplant in US performed by Washington University, where from the beginning to the end, it was all robotics. So this is something that is not stopping and it's keep moving. And that, one of the other things that's kind of helping that is the 3D printing technology and virtual reality. I'm sure some of you already had or have or about to have the 3D dimensional modelings that actually kind of a great platform to try on and to see for the virtual planning and the surgical and the training. When you can, a great paper at JAMA this summer published the results that actually the outcome's even better when you have the model already in place and you can actually apply that in OR. And here is just another example, having the regular CT images, going through the 3D model, having the printing and virtual reality in OR when you operate. It helps you to understand, it helps you to adopt and kind of like actually have a better and even shorter surgery time as well. Another great paper to back my talk is again published in JAMA recently by a fantastic group of surgeons. Moving on, this picture has been sent from my colleagues at Stanford. This is how we teach the residents at the moment. This is coming, and I think it's in the near far future. We're going to have this in every hospital very soon. This is pre-planning or even actually transforming your knowledge to OR. So virtual reality and 3D printing, not just something very exotic anymore. Moving forward, we all heard about the artificial intelligence, big data. We all heard about machine learning. How do we apply that in the navigation system, in some of the challenges that we face in OR? So here, probably some of you already, we had some discussions earlier today, you already have that, and we also in our center are kind of implementing as well for liver segmentation, steatosis assessment, sarcopenia assessment, volumetry, if you have any questions in the OR, and some even the lesion detections, when you can actually do this intraoperative with live images and making some certain, maybe adopting some certain decisions. Augmented reality is something that the concept just merged, I would say probably about 10 years ago. It came from an engineering field when the surgeons and engineers met, and first it was applied in astronomy, and people thought that this is just all from the fantasy world, but it's not, and it picked it up the pace quite a bit, especially in the minimally invasive surgery. As you can see, actually you can pre-plan the whole surgery, mitigate your a whole process before you enter the OR, especially for very advanced cases. And the image here on the left, you can see that you can actually have from a 2D image, from ultrasound, you can actually have the model live, and you can actually see probably most of you also does the ultrasound intraoperatively, have everything in one place and navigate that as needed. The application of machine learning picked up so much that there's actually a journal called the Artificial Intelligence Surgery. So for those who are interested, just several picked it up for discussion, and you can actually keep it up the issues. Very interesting, a lot of great papers out there as well. Applying artificial intelligence to the big data, it's been HPV surgery and transplant surgery has been a little bit behind, I would say, picking up, a little hesitant to adopt that, but you can see here in this image, quite complex. Overall, we have a lot of indications that we can apply, but three main big things: the diagnostic, intervention, and prognostic. And you can actually navigate that system quite nicely overall. Again, for minimally invasive surgery, something to stay. The idea behind this, all innovation, no matter what field are you in, whether you do pancreas or liver transplant or all of it, it's all again, maximal liver saving with minimally invasiveness. And that's what all the patient-focused technology, right? So we've probably seen that before. You want to be accurate, you want to be precise, you want to be precise while you do the surgery, and where you want to be really super post-operative excellence nursing afterwards. So all the technology is going to be there, and you can have all these tools applied for your patients, for your clinics, and overall all the work. So here I just want to touch a little bit base also on some of the technologies that we do in our center. And then one of them is the HPV surgery digital health vision, when we have data sets analytics. And you can see here that we have a patient, the data, and then a clinical application with telemedicine, data science, and artificial intelligence systems, where the clinical decision support and precision medicine is kind of applied. Again, probably nothing new, but something new that we kind of picked it up on that was just several years ago, the Facebook founder, Mark Zuckerman, reached out to one of our scientists group, and he was part of the invited scientists to join it when we opened up the Human Liver Atlas. Something sounds like so far from surgery, but that's not, and I'll try to prove it here with several of slides of mine. So the Human Liver Atlas has revealed actually quite a bit of information. Again, it's quite a lot of basic science when you move up to all the way to minimally invasive surgery, right? But gives you a lot of information. Here's my group of who are working on this, and the concept goes quite interestingly from the cells all the way to the human, to the OR, and then see if we can actually, while you operate, you can get the information back whether or not you're on the right track. So what we're talking about is just something that you cannot even see with called the naked eye. Something you can actually have the information, put the cells on, they call the lab on the chip, and you can get the answer right away. Again, something is based on some of the robotic systems also picking up that concept, and I think in the near future we're going to see even more about this. Why that matters? Liver is quite complicated structure, a lot of function, right, going on, quite unique organ overall. I'm not going to go into details here. It's just not for you, not for a surgical audience, but validation is important. So whether or not you about to give some chemotherapy, immunotherapy, or you're about to plan a second stage surgery, it's really important, again, having the information from the cells that or from the tissue that you just resected. So when to use it? That's a question always for the surgeon, right? When you want to have a clear answer and quite clear replies back. So we're quite a bit. You can actually do the model, you can do the disease, personalized medicine approach. You can treat, you can diagnose, there are many, many things you can do. Actually, the size of that chip, you can see it's a real size. And we here did several of the tries on, with some laser processing as well. Fabrication looked just like that. So this is coming, and it can be implemented also in either in one of the devices for the minimally invasive surgery as well as the robotics. And here we just showed that there's actually these cells really true, trying with the liver cells, not just having an artificial model. We have several publications. Moving on to the future. Professor Karam said, well, talk about the future and see what's coming. And I have to tell you, I had to spend a little bit of the time, but it's really hard to pick up what's coming because I'll be showing one of the slides that I actually added this morning when I read the news. So what's coming is a lot of exciting things. As you can see, I think all the 3D bioprinting, the tumor on the chip, whatever organ you're gonna pick, it stays here. As you can see, a lot of journals, especially Nature journal is picking up that concept quite a bit, and a lot of groups are working across the world. And ChatGPT picked it up on that quite a bit. Here is Professor Besseling's paper just recently published showing that ChatGPT is also going to stay, especially in our field. Great paper to read if you haven't done so. Again, something that we probably as surgeons are going to be, we'll just have to adapt and see what that's going to take us. And then the last one, it just the news this morning. If you read New York Times, you can look it up and read a little bit more. It seems like no more strolling anymore. So everything we can do seems like to be in the palm of this, size of the palm, and we can actually get all the information just whatever we are, anytime where we are. So it could be OR, it could be somewhere else. Another interesting paper to read. With that, I would like to thank my team, and I would like to invite everybody to join us for the next Baltic chapter in Vilnius the next year in April. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and take some questions.
Çok güzel sunumun için teşekkür ediyorum. Buraya kadar geldiniz, bize şeref verdiniz. Aiste Gulla, Baltik Cumhuriyetleri HPB Cerrahisi Başkanı geçen sene kuruldu. Çok yeni bir dernek ama çok heyecanlı bir grup. Konuşmanız tabii çok güzeldi ama gerçekteki sorunlarımız aslında ulaşımla ilgili problemler. Robot çok pahalı, şu anki robot. Ülkemizde çok ciddi ekonomik problemler var. Sanıyorum sizin ülkenizde de teknolojiye ulaşım pahalı. Ve birçok ülkenin sağlık sigorta sistemi bunu cover etmiyor maalesef. Bu problemi siz ülke olarak nasıl aşabiliyorsunuz ya da bu problemi nasıl çözmeyi düşünüyorsunuz ya da başka robotlar mı gelecek, robot sistemleri daha mı uygun hale gelecek yoksa sabahki konuşmasında Profesör Osman bahsetti, HPB cerrahisi gittikçe daha pahalı bir cerrahi hale mi gelecek? Biz bu teknolojiye nasıl ulaşacağız?
Mustafa, if you can just repeat the beginning of the question, it was not translated.
So problem şu, teknolojiye ulaşım problemi var ekonomik nedenlerden dolayı. Can you hear the microphone?
Yeah, I can hear the translation. Yes.
Çalışıyor mu arkadaşlar?
It's okay. No worries.
Aha. Do you understand me? No.
It's not speaking.
Does it working?
It's quiet.
So it is problem is to reach the technology, especially the robot and minimal invasive surgery. In our country, our state insurance system doesn't cover all. Especially if you work to the state hospital or university hospital, it is impossible to easy to do robotic surgery, pancreas or liver. What is your problem? Is your country or because I know there is many state government insurance system doesn't cover the new technology. It is a problem for us. What do you think about this?
Thank you for the question. I totally can relate that, and I understand the concern. The beauty of the innovation is over time it becomes accessible. That's why we do these innovations, right? That's why we innovate as surgeons, or we try to adopt the innovations that are out there. I would say absolutely regarding the compensation or reimbursement system, it's a problem across Europe. Some countries have better than the others. And that's why we can see that some of the countries adopt these innovations quicker than the others. But again, what the big companies and I show you some numbers and the big, the big investments behind it, that innovations are not going to stop, and we just have to adopt. Again, I think with time, both academic centers, hospitals have to find a way to adopt to them, because it's for us hard to even imagine not having the phone right now, or iPhone or any smartphone, right? Just several years ago, it was quite expensive, not affordable for many others to have, but over time, the technology gets adapted by many when the price goes down. So I hope really some of the technologies I showed today, and some of them are probably more coming, that over time they just really go the price-wise, that many people can adopt that.
Thank you.
Hocam buyurun.
Türkçe soramıyorum galiba.
Türkçe çalışmıyor herhalde. Siz sorun hocam, çevirelim ya da siz İngilizce sorun.
3 boyutlu bioliver printing ile ilgili sormak istiyordum. Bir şey oluyor mu? Anlıyor mu? Efendim? Tamam. 3 boyutlu bioliver printing ile ilgili sormak istiyordum. Şimdi 1-2 yıl evveline kadar bud formation başarılı olmuştu. Yani bilirubin sekret eden, albumin ve protrombin sentez eden 3 boyutlu bioliver printing gerçekleştirilmişti. Ancak bu farmakolojik testlerde kullanılabiliyordu. Yani bir ilacın hepatotoksik olup olmadığını anlamak üzere özellikle San Diego'da böyle bir laboratuvar var ve bu laboratuvardan satışlar oluyor ülkelere. Biz o zaman bir araştırma yapmak istediğimizde Türkiye'ye satışın olmadığını söylemişlerdi. Şimdi 3 boyutlu bioliver printing'de essential problem matrix problemi vardı. Bu bir matrix problemi. 2, arkitektürel bir anarşinin olmasından korkuyorlardı. Aynı fokal nodüler hiperplazide olduğu gibi. Şimdi bu konudaki güncel durum nereye geldi? O bir fikri var mı acaba? Fikriniz var mı?
Thank you for the question. Fantastic. Yes, I do. So the 3D bioprinting is actually, there are several labs also in Europe. If you're interested, we can talk after my presentation that I could be happy to connect you with if you're interested to proceed with that in that area. I think I know which group you're talking about in San Diego, but the 3D printing is really, again, now it's really picking up to be adopted in the field, and it's actually not only for the focal hyperplasia, but also for HCC. So something that we use that for also for planning the transplant surgery for colorectal metastasis.
Thank you.
Yep.
Çalışıyor mu mikrofon? Açacak mısınız? Thank you. That's an excellent visionary talk, actually. And you can listen to me. I'm just speaking English. You don't need to.
All right.
You can take it out. I appreciate your visionary talk, and it's great, actually. My question is in education of surgeons, and yes, technology is very expensive, but it will be overcome one way or the other as we go. But the training the surgeons and the organized systematic way, but controlling the just shortcomings and quality. How do you achieve that? What is your idea? What do you think about that? Because training the surgeons are really important. These technologies are really state-of-the-art technologies, but the problem is, as you know, we do always say, do not give any harm. But I bet that because experience we had with the early days of laparoscopic surgeries and sky-high number of, choledoc injuries and other things. And is there any studies going on that or organized way of approaching this issue? How we are going to train the surgeons to achieve what we would like to achieve?
Mm-hmm. Great question. Yes, I do agree with your statement that, you don't have to have a PhD, but I think it's preferred and it gives you a better sense. As far as the studies, I know several of the, big, again, Professor Besseling has a great proof of concept that how you train the surgeons in order for, especially for the new skills, when you train either for robot or for some other technologies to be adaptive. Again, I think before any technology that you want to implement in your center, you have to have a core people that as I showed you that the grant graph, right? So the old technology still stays, whatever technology you have, while you're simultaneously doing the new technology, whatever you're about to adapt. And there are many studies, and I just didn't put in this presentation, but one of them actually from a group from South Korea, is a group from Japan, showing how you adapt robotics. So a large volume of laparoscopic center wants to start the robotics. So you don't stop the laparoscopic. You start first of all with combine. So maybe start with laparoscopic and switch mid-surgery to robotic. Again, yes, it does take time. Yes, it does take resources, manpower, maybe even some probably financial losses at the beginning. But then it shows there's a peak when a new trainee picks up the skill, and it really goes quite high, because it gets faster. So the complication rate goes down. Everything is it's fantastic, and then later on it gets to plateau. Then it's the time to pick up a new group. So a smart decision is always, for anything new, you don't want to stop what you've been doing for a long time, but it worked, right? And some of us don't want to change because we like what works. But which is really, you can't just avoid what's happening around the world. So if you pick up anything new, you try to keep the same model as long as the new group kind of is ready to take off and keep on going. And then this is how you generate these new surgeons with new skills. Never kind of drop off what you have and then jump on something that you don't even know what is not going to work. So that's probably my take on that one.
Okay, so last but not the least, I have one small question for you. With the introduction of the robotics and all these technologies, actually there's a practical problem of the compatibility. So for example, with the XI or any robot, these technologies doesn't compatible with the other technologies that we are using right now. For example, with the XI, you can't use CUSA or other technologies. So it leaves you to do a surgery without, proper tools. I think legislation, policymakers should pass a legislation to make those technologies compatible with each other. I don't think FDA or US will do that, but maybe EU can do that, because it's like having many different phones with different cables. So. Yeah. What was your comment about that?
I 110% agree with you, absolutely. It puts us as a community, it's some of the technologies that we sort of been given to use, but then we have the troubles to adapt them, even though we have a big enthusiasm to try them out. There's an incompatibility thing. So absolutely, you have to be conscientious. Again, has to be a group decision or administration decision that, okay, this could be some loss at the beginning, but if you can pick up the cost later on, sure, but I think that's a great comment. There's one more question?
Okay, thank you very much
Yep,
for your presentation.